Hello and welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
I'm Kyle. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm good. Well, at least I'm kind of back
Yeah.
finally. Yeah, finally kind of put a wrap on the marathon after about 3 weeks of just getting that together and
Yeah.
with a great team. Luckily, I had a veteran that's run it before, was part of it.
hmm
I had a good colleague here helping with communications. I was kind of boots on the ground, so
Yeah.
put it together. Had a raised a lot of money. Had a lot of great feedback for Boston qualifier. A lot of people excited for next year. So
Oh,
yeah,
good.
a lot of work and a lot of catching up posts, and we're still kind of catching up on certain things. But hey, we're back and we're back to our normally regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah, that was different without you here, but thanks to Evan Koningsberg for stepping in.
And thank you to, covering all the media duties and all that. You did awesome. So
Thank you.
it was great. Great to be back and excited to talk some Union 2, and some MLS in general. So before we get started, what we wearing today?
Well, I decided to go not with soccer. I am wearing the Men I Need shirt that I got from one of my coworkers was at the final game for the Flyers, and she picked that up for me. So shout out Kelly for that. And yeah, so I'm proud of the Flyers. You know what? I'm really proud of them, and I'm excited to see what they do moving forward. Also, breaking news: Daryl Morey's gone from the Sixers.
Oh,
So
interesting.
cool. Sixers were disappointing. I don't want to talk about them. All right, let's talk Union soccer. Yeah,
Well, before we start, I
yeah,
am wearing Atlantic City FC. I bought this online. Just yeah, nice shirt there.
yeah.
Literally like their patch with the little card on it. So if you wanted to wear something a little soccer related here as well. But yeah, let's get into kind of the big news that you had last week. You went down to training.
Yes, I went to training on Friday. And I got to see first team training. I talked to Malik Jakupovic, and I went to the Union 2 friendly versus the Ocean City Nor'easters. So made a whole day of it out there, and it was a good day.
Yeah. So let's talk about your interview with Mox, some takeaways.
Yeah, so great talk with Malik. You can see the full interview. Well, you can listen to it anyway because I just did audio, but you can listen to that on we have it on YouTube, it's on Spotify. And also if you check out our the article I did with the interview as well, that is on the oneteamweagreeon.com, which by the way, if you're not already following us on our various platforms, make sure you do and check out our website, the oneteamweagreeon.com. Um, but yeah, it was a good interview. And I will say, I think, I've interviewed him many times at this point, and I feel like he has really grown and in his confidence and everything, and is, getting better at answering things. Not that he did it poorly before, but you see this with players. I've seen it with Cavan. I've seen it with a lot of these guys coming up through. So, but yeah, really good chat with him. We talked about him coming up through the academy, what it was like for him to move from Michigan and live in the residency house. And he talked about how much, that support was for him,
Hmm.
how important that was. And also living with those guys, his teammates there. And also about tending YSC.
Hmm.
And he said it's a little bit easier balancing the student and athlete part of it this year as opposed to last year. Now that he's with the first team, he said he practices with the first team most of the time now. So,
Hmm.
um, we've seen him going to those matches more now. So, but yeah, talked about that, talked about his national team experiences, and talked about the question that is on a lot of people's mind of, oh, is he going to stick with US or is he going to, you know, go to Bosnia at some point? But
Well, let's talk about that
yeah,
because that raised some eyebrows, maybe, maybe not. But I'll play the clip, and I want to
yeah,
play, to be fair, both sides. His time with the U.S. national team, youth national team, but also, what his decision is going forward. So, yeah, let's dive into that one first, since for a lot of people that was the elephant in the room.
It was really good. It's to be honest, wasn't the best opponents, but in those type of games where you score a lot, it's really fun, and I really like playing with the U.S. It's really fun. Coaching staff is tremendous, and players are even better. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the World Cup and upcoming games with them we have this year.
And I'm sure you're aware there's a lot of chatter about your dual citizenship possibility about playing with Bosnia as well. Do you feel one way or the other about which country you might want to represent given the opportunity, especially at the senior level when you get to the point? It's just something you're kind of figuring out as you go.
Yeah, I feel like right now I'm not fully sure, but I feel like this year will fully decide. I feel like I'll have my I'll know what nationality by the end of this year. But right now I'm not really sure which one. But I'll see how this year goes for me. If it goes really well, then hopefully I'll stay with the U.S. But I'm fine with both. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and it was windy out there too.
yeah, I apologize about
Because
that,
yeah, 'cause
but
this was conducted on field.
I look at that twofold. One, he talks about the immense pride he loves playing for the United States.
Yeah, absolutely.
But on the flip side, yeah, he has immense pride for both countries,
His family's from Bosnia.
and I
I get it.
I know there's some interaction. People were like, "Oh, I don't know what to make of this." Well, what do you make of it, Jillian?
I make of it that he's a teenager and he's just kind of, you know, figuring things out, because I think, yeah, he has absolutely pride playing for the US. And, I think he wants to do that. But he sees, yeah, there is that option. And he's provisionally cap tied to
Yeah,
the US. Okay.
for the was it U17 World Cup, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean that, and he mentioned, he's looking forward to that. And so, and we had talked about his performance at the CONCACAF qualifiers. So he had said, it wasn't the best opponents, but the thing is, you got to play who you got to play. So,
Yeah.
um, but he said it was a lot of fun. But I think also, he sees his heritage and everything with Bosnia, and you see Esmir that went over there, and of course, we didn't talk about him, but you know he's aware of that, obviously. So he has pride in both, and he's just figuring it out. And I think that people that read too much into some of the stuff, just let's pump the brakes a little
Yeah,
bit.
I mean, look, right now he's evaluating what the best path forward to is in his
Yeah,
career. You only get one professional career. And
yeah,
and so for me, I look at it as like a young kid, like you said, and he's still trying to figure out where he fits
hmm
best in moving forward. And so we'll see with that.
yeah. But I honestly, I was impressed speaking with him. He's definitely, um, I think, mature, handling all this, and I'm really excited to see where he goes from here now that he has that first team deal. He's starting to get more opportunities, but it was a great chat. Definitely listen to the whole thing, and yeah, so I'm excited to see, where he keeps going from here, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I just have two quick
mm,
things said. Two other things stood out to me was,
mhm.
you asked about his big impact,
Right,
who's impacted in his life, and he went right to his dad
yes,
and just how impactful his dad was to him in that interview. And also he talked a little bit about what coaches
hmm
in the organization have really
yes,
made an impact with him as well. So I did want to play that,
all right,
and just because I really felt like I gave a really good answer
he
there.
did.
Victor and Henry, they've helped me a lot with catching up with some of the video when coming in, because I am with first team most of the time. When I come back to the U2 games, it's kind of difficult, kind of fitting into the game, but they've really helped me a lot coming in.
And then with that back and forth, who would you say has been the most helpful with getting you acclimated to the first team?
I would say as like a player,
Yeah,
or
or coach.
yeah, I would say Vince, our coach. He's like a IDP coach for me, and also like in the gym, he does a lot for me. I'm trying to get bigger and put on some muscle, and also we do a lot of IDP work together. Focusing on like the attacking components, scoring and all that. But he's helped me tremendously, ever since coming into the first team. Victor.
All right. So yeah, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so no, I thought that was interesting. And, him talking about, bulking up a bit too, which, yeah, the kid is tall, but yeah, we do want to see him get a little muscle in him too. And and that's good, because he's playing with adults at this point.
But I
Yeah.
think you see the pride he has for Richter
Oh, he spoke very highly of Henry, of Ryan Richter,
sure.
Fred, those guys. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is, good how seamlessly all the staff work together.
Yeah, I think that's important. So, yeah, again, we encourage you to check it out. Before we talk about the Nor'easters, just want to give a shout out to Neil Pierre.
Yeah, Neil Pierre. Oh, and he's killing it at Lingby.
Yeah,
Um,
4 goals in 475 minutes on loan,
yeah,
and yeah, they just moved up in the Danish promotion division, Danish soccer pyramid.
yeah.
So they just moved back up to the top level. So
Yeah, 4 goals in just under 475 minutes. Like, this is what you want to see, Neil having
yeah,
a successful loan. I am honestly like, we're very high on Neil. We've interviewed Neil. We've
yeah,
seen him coming on up. And yeah, we rate him really highly. And I'm honestly really excited to see this for him. Now, if that loan gets extended, you know, we'll see because it's just through June right now. And let's remind ourselves it's May. So, um, we'll see where that goes, but I think it's important that he's getting to really blossom.
I wouldn't mind seeing him get another loan out there and play in the top flight of
Hmm.
out there and at the Danish league. I think
Hmm.
that really there would give you a solid idea of where he can kind of go to that next step.
Yeah,
But
they seem to
we'll
love him out there too.
we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But yeah,
Yep.
again, congratulations. Just wanted to give him a shout out. And yeah, do you want to talk about the friendly?
Yes, yes. So Friday last week in the afternoon, we had the friendly Union 2 hosted Ocean City Nor'easters. They did this last year as well. Last year had to be inside because it was raining and storming weather. But this year it was on the Wisvis Bank Sportsplex outdoor field, the kinetic field, right there next to the building. And so I was in the press box for the first time there for a match, and that's actually where Union 2 is going to be playing their next 4 matches. So it was kind of a test run for all that. And anyway, so for those unfamiliar, Ocean City Nor'easters, they're a USL2 side, and they have a lot of like college players that are home for the summer, and there's a couple guys that have Union history, okay, that have come up through like the academy or played with Union too. So there's a few of them there. And I know Jacques Mason is one of them that comes to mind. There were a few others with some Union ties, but anyway, so as expected, of course, they're not going to have like everybody in there. Rafael Uzgateki, he got some well-deserved rest, so he was just hanging out. Giovanni Sakara, he was resting. Kellen resting. So got to give some other guys a chance, which was
Hmm.
good. And so, they definitely adjusted to the style of play a little bit. And then Union 2 ended up scoring 2 goals. So Sal Levis, he scored. And we actually got to see Abdoulaye Diop, who's been with
Yep.
the U16s, but he's been up with the 18s a bit too. He's had national team experience. So has Sam Gallego, who Sam came in the second half, and he scored a goal.
Yeah.
So that was good to see. And so that was this was the first time both of them have played in any capacity with Union 2. And I mean, obviously it's an unofficial kind of appearance, but good for them getting that chance. And so, they played pretty well, I thought. And so,
I think anytime, especially the younger guys, get that
mhm.
opportunity against older people, like Ryan's talked about a million
Yeah,
times,
yeah.
just to have that experience against the USL 2 team,
Hmm.
even though it's amateur, just to have that, it's so beneficial, especially for the academy guys,
Yeah, yeah.
as they continue their pathway. So,
Yeah, there were a lot of academy guys that got in. So Andrew Craig, Lennon Harrington, you know, you had a lot of these guys in there. Nahan,
mm,
So it was no, that was good for them. And you got to see like Oliver Pratt got playing time. He got a little banged up at one point, so hopefully he's good to go. But yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun. And for it being during, school day pretty much, there was a decent crowd of people down on in the stands. So, um, Yeah, it's the BR and Tiny. They were there. The cats.
What was your overall impression of the field?
So I mean the field is all right. It's kind of I mean, I think it's to for all of them I mean it's kind of a step down not playing in the stadium,
Right.
Probably feels a little less professional. I know Ryan Richter always stresses, he's trying to like get these guys to being, professionals and what's that environment. So I don't know, like it was okay. And from my vantage point from the press box, well, the only problem was there was like there's a blind spot whenever they were taking
Hmm.
like in the corner on the near side. Like it was hard to see. So that was the downside. Otherwise, it's a pretty decent view from up there. Just yeah, the blind spots. Um,
Right.
so but for what it is, it's fine. I'm I'll be interested to see how it translates to the live stream. Now I'm going to be there in person for Union 2 against Revolution 2 tomorrow. When you're hearing this, it's going to be today, probably.
Mhm.
But anyway, it'll be interesting to see how that live stream looks. I know I was told the camera's going to be on the side of like where the building is, from what I'm told, I believe.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll be
So,
interested to see how that looks as well.
yeah.
No, I'm curious to see how these games go and kind of, how, what their thoughts is. I know with the World Cup coming, that changed their schedule a lot, obviously, but we'll see.
Yeah, and um yeah, so it'll be Union 2 against New England Revolution 2 Wednesday, and that's at 7, which of course is going to be at the same time pretty much as the first team game. So there's that going on. Busy
But
night.
yeah, anyway, talking about the first team,
Yeah.
over the weekend. Union fall 2-1 to New England Revolution.
Hmm.
Revs remain unbeaten at home through this early part of the season. Um, I think the big news of that evening was early on in the first half. Frankie Westfield goes down.
Yeah.
Now, at the time we really didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Bradley had only said he was in the something with the hip. He was in
Mhm.
the hospital getting X-rays, but he did come back and say it was a contusion,
Yeah.
and he is day to day.
And then tonight on the availability report for tomorrow, it did come out that Frankie's out
Yes,
again.
correct.
Yeah, against um Orlando. So and along with Jeff at Sari Larson's still out.
Yep.
Havis Bueno still obviously Quinn. Eddie Davis is out. Um
And Andre's questionable.
Andre's questionable, and that was one that I was like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
that's
So,
not expected.
but I mean, that was kind of a big early first half. You're like, ooh, how's this going to impact? And
Yeah.
I know you and Mike and Dave talked about on the post game show, the options.
Yeah.
But Bradley went with Bizo.
Yeah, that was his first MLS appearance of the year.
Yeah.
He played against like Defense Force, I
And
think, but
so
other than that, yeah.
here was Bradley's explanation because you asked him about, Frankie's injury. Did it,
Did it mess up his game plan,
yeah.
basically?
And here's what he had to say.
Yeah, not too much. I mean, Paizo's been training with the group. He's healed from his issues, and we had the chance to go 2-0 up. And I think the complexion, like I said, changes the complexion of the game. And obviously, they got powerful runners on the sidelines with Peyton Miller and Langoni and what have you. So you have to have the full awareness of the back four, the way we play, the way we defend, and yeah, unfortunately, they turned it around and put us under a little bit more pressure. And yeah, it's really unfortunate.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he has been training with the team.
Yeah, I saw him at training on Friday.
Yeah. But could you go with Bender? Maybe. But
Would we feel better with Bender there, or God forbid, Bedoya and at right back?
I mean, no. Honestly, everybody's like talking about Finn. No, Finn's where he needs to be right now with Union 2. He's been impressive there.
Yeah, Finn was on the bench for that match,
Yeah,
but
but I'm fine
I'm
where
surprised if he isn't in Orlando, honestly.
personally, I mean, at that point, with Ndinga was out.
Well, it looks like he's back, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him in there, and then maybe Nate playing.
Maybe, and then you have McConaughey and Gaynor. I thought Gaynor was.
Gaynor did a good
I
job.
thought it was okay.
He did fine.
I think, you anytime you lose one of your top creators on the season, that's big.
Yeah, let's face it, Frankie's been one of the best on the team this season, and
I say he's been
so
good, and I
yeah.
think if not the one of the best. And to your point, I think you give Bizo a run, see what he has,
Hmm.
and maybe that's what Carnell thought. Okay, maybe Bizo can give us something, and yeah, um, yeah. Anyway, uh, another thing I want to talk about was, early on you had asked about Cavan. Early on, ninth minute, he has that opportunity, kind of cuts in, gets on goal, has a good look at a shot, and just kind of dumps it off, which, okay, he's being
Fair.
unselfish. That's fair.
Yeah.
But I
Kind of wanted
remember,
to see him be selfish in that
yeah, I
spot.
mean, when we're looking for goals, right? When the club is looking for goals,
Yeah.
there's an opportunity just to take a shot.
And he can finish, and we've seen it.
Oh yeah,
And
especially on that angle. That's where I'm like, oh,
I see him running on the goal there, and I'm like, he's about to have his first MLS goal. Like I'm watching that, I'm like,
I don't know about that,
no,
but at least
I
take
was
the
hopeful. I was
shot.
hopeful.
At
At
least
least take the
take the
shot.
shot. Um,
And maybe, Aldo running on could get like the rebound or something,
exactly, exactly. There were some things there. Again, I get it. You're dumping
Yeah,
off,
yeah,
and okay, fair.
yeah.
Uh,
That being said, I thought Cavan had a great game.
another, he's starting to put together good
Hmm.
games. Building that confidence.
Clearly, the game was built around him again.
Yeah, and so nothing there. I mean, Union go up on that own goal.
Yep.
Off of, Lasky gets some space. Will Sands knocks it in. 1-0. You go in the first half, and you're like, okay,
Okay.
they're up 1-0 at half. But then we go back to the Aldo moment off the
Hmm.
deflection. Aldo's right there with a sitter, and to be the credit, gets cleared out. A great play, but then that leads to
Like almost immediately after.
Langoni a couple minutes later, gets downside, beats Blake, which to this day on that play, you and I are both looking at each other. I don't know if he got blocked.
Yeah, I think it was just too much traffic in front. He just didn't see
He didn't
because
pick it
the
up.
way he just stood there.
I
And
mean, it was a
yeah,
nice goal,
it was. It
but
wasn't better than Jack McGlynn's first goal, though. Just putting that out there. And Langoni's goal was up for goal of the match day.
it
And
was a nice goal. I don't know
but it
if,
wasn't better. It wasn't better than Jack McGlynn's first goal. Just
to be fair,
just putting that out
to
there.
be fair,
Shout out Jack McGlynn. He had a brace. Good for him. Proud of
keeping
him.
a $1.50 and just saying that was a nice goal. I just don't know, like, just the way Blake didn't react it if he didn't see
Yeah.
it or what. But that's, yeah. I mean, then the game's open, the game's
Hmm.
on, and I was joking because they kept talking about Carlos Hield hasn't, which shocked me.
It largely contained Carlos Hill. Like
I
it
thought
really
he
has.
had scored against the Union
No,
prior.
they really shut him down like the last however many times. Like they've actually been really good about it.
When they were like doing that, I'm like looking up stats, like, is this right? And it was. But of course, like anything in sports, you jinx enough.
Yeah, Kyle, you remember against Miami that
We're
one
not
time?
going to talk
Yeah,
about
exactly. Kyle's the master at jinx. You remember saying, "Oh, look at Max Arfston down there when we were at Columbus. Look at Max Arfston just sitting down there, and then he scores like a minute
that.
later."
I mean,
Kyle, you are the
you're
master
gonna leave
jinx.
Hurston wide open like that. You're gonna pay. I mean, I don't care. I mean,
Kyle, it's all your fault. Like you jinxed everything. No, I'm just kidding.
but seriously, I mean, it was kind of funny. It was like, of course, Carlos Shields gets to score after the announcer.
Of course.
And to his credit, you put a player in his caliber in that position, he's going to do damage, and he
Mhm.
does. And it's unfortunate again that you can finally get a little bit of luck early on with that own goal, and then it's like, okay, can you just hang on, and get a point? That would be a big
Just getting a
deal.
point like on the road would have been
I
good.
mean, that goal, but again, it goes back to Aldo's goal goes in. It's 2-0 in the 70 some minute. I mean, 60 some minute.
Mhm.
You're hoping to ride that one out with 3 points. Gosh forbid, at
Mhm.
least bottom floor, you get a point.
Well, you know what we got to say here.
Margins are razor
The
thin.
margins are
I
razor
know.
thin.
That said, it's these moments where the Union this year through these, what is it now, 12 matches, I believe.
They're still not in dead last. SKC got obliterated by Portland, by the way.
I
Gave up
mean,
4 goals in the first like 25 minutes. So it could be worse.
it could be, but I think fans out there listening are saying, well, here we go again. Still not able to crack over and get. When we go up first
Hmm.
last year, you don't really concede. I mean, I brought up that stat in past. Once the Union went up, I mean, they've blown a couple leads last year, but they would at least get a point. Well, now you
Hmm.
look at this match and it's like, huh, well, just blew that one. So
Yep.
I still look at it and go, this is a good New England team.
Yeah.
And
They're definitely
yeah, they're a
feeling
good
it.
team.
Excuse me.
I still don't think it's as bad as the record
They've
is.
been just, I feel like, on the bad side of luck each time. And you got to create your own luck too. But
And that's the thing, they haven't.
yeah,
And
they need something to go their way. I'll tell you what. And it seemed like, oh, it's the own goal. Okay, something went their way, but then they couldn't get any goals of
but
their
here's
own.
my thing, after 12 games,
Yeah.
is it going to happen?
Mhm.
And that's the thing, after 12 games, is this going to happen? I still think there are better days ahead,
Mhm.
but what does that look like? And I'd be curious to hear your comments out there if you're listening. What are your thoughts? Like, I mean, moving forward, just how does it improve? Because, I mean, obviously the forwards getting more goals is the easy one, but outside of that, there are things that are positive.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about chances created and that stuff. We can talk about that to nauseam. I just think those breaks need to start coming, and they need to start coming fast.
Yeah, well, I'll be interested to see what happens against Orlando,
I am too, because here's a team that is sitting right below you in the table. All right. Now, they've only had 2 wins at home this year. Both of their 2 wins came at home.
They had that crazy comeback
Game,
against Miami.
Miami. Yeah, they had a crazy one against Miami. That was on the road.
Yeah,
Pardon me. 2 of their 3
because
wins
Miami's been
came
kind
at
of
home.
butt in the
Sorry. 2 of their
stadium.
3 wins came at home.
Yeah.
Um, And they also had that nice win against Charlotte. So there again, they've had some good wins. They also lost 2-0 this past weekend to Montreal, which ever since firing their coach, Montreal's been on a burner.
Like the Phillies,
Yeah,
new
I mean,
manager bump.
new manager bump. So hey, something's going right up there in Montreal. They've given up 34 goals in the season, but that number's inflated because they've only given up 9 at home.
Hmm.
And Ojeda, who's always a dangerous scoring threat, leads his club with 7 goals on the season. And hey, look, there again is another team that's chasing points like the Union. But you look at this table coming up with these 3-game swing, there's still opportunity. I mean,
Yeah.
Columbus is within striking distance. But again, we're going to say this till ad nauseum until it's no longer there.
Yeah. Well, Stash Korzanowski is clearly traveling to Orlando because he was in the pictures of that. So
You guys were talking about that on the post game.
yeah, so we'll see, does he get a chance? Maybe
Maybe.
maybe he can get in there and do his thing, and that would be good because he's been riding a really good, wave with Union too. So I know it's a change. It's a big jump as it's been said many times, but hey, he's got hopefully that confidence going. So
This is a game where maybe just with the mood of everything you don't expect, but there's a game here again. You can get points tomorrow. Well, at the time of this recording today, and that would go a long way heading into this World Cup break if they could again just string something together. We've been saying for the last couple episodes, but
yeah,
I still think there is opportunity there to be had.
I agree.
But again, like who's going to be that sub? We need to see Damian and Aldo get going.
They need score.
They do,
Yeah.
and I think
And like,
if nothing else, for confidence,
yeah, like Anello said, yeah, like Augustine Anello said post game when I think once Bruno scores one, you're gonna see more and more. Like he had a lot of confidence about that. That's what something he said after the last home game. I believe.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens as of this recording today. And then Saturday, Union back against their last home match, hosting the Columbus Crew.
Yep.
So that will be interesting. A fun fact with that, Crew have an interesting schedule. They're at NYCFC, right? Um, I think they played them on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're playing Red Bulls tomorrow. And then they're playing Philadelphia all on the road. So I'm curious, are they going back and forth? Because that's an
Yeah.
interesting flight plan, or are they
Yeah.
sticking around? I'd be curious, even though it's like just bouncing back and forth. That's a lot of travel. But
Yeah, and it's a double feature for Union and the Crew this weekend because Union 2 are playing Crew 2 on Sunday at home, and that will be again on the Kinetic Field. But that is at 3 on Sunday. So make a
yeah,
weekend of it. I wish they would have been playing each other in Columbus that weekend when we were out there. That would have been
that would have
cool.
been neat. That would
They
be
usually
more
play at
spectacular.
historic Crew Stadium. But anyway, so we'll be there, yeah, all weekend.
Yeah. So yep, like I said, we're back to our regularly scheduled programming now. Um, until the turkey trot. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and this has been an all new episode of the What Team We Agree On.
Make sure to like and subscribe and follow us on our socials and leave us comments. We love hearing from you. And, if you see us out and about, if you see us about, especially on Saturday, around Subaru Park, definitely say hello. And yeah, so we appreciate everyone who's been tuning in and engaging with us, because that makes it, all the more worthwhile.
Yeah. And until next time, I'm Kyle,
I'm Jillian.
and we'll see you at the game.